Hello, my name's Jonathan Kershaw. I'm another member of the product management team, and I'm responsible for our Motivate product and Conversation Analyzer, and today just representing one of my other colleagues in this particular area. So I just want to cover Progressive Dialer first, and it's well known that basically sales reps spend almost 2/3 of their time on administrative tasks and the other third actually selling. And what we can see in this graph is basically the research done by Salesforce on its annual statement of sales. And within that, the focus, so that's basically driving the focus of new voice media. And we want to help you basically reduce the time your reps spend on administrative tasks and move them onto more productive selling activities. So we're trying to reduce the time spent on dialer tasks like logging calls and navigating through records. So if we see what that looks like in the day in the life of a sales rep, so what we're basically seeing on the left-hand side here is the sales rep, the different types of calls they make, and then the sales reps being engaged on the right-hand side. So if we imagine that in the morning the sales rep logs into Salesforce and asks New Voice Media for their first call, the NVM dials the sales rep who answers, and then here's the call ringing out to the prospect across the top. Then the first call will result in no answer from the prospect, and the rep now needs to log the call in Salesforce and then ask New Voice Media for the next call. And if they do a second call, it rings the rep who connects, and then here's the engaged tone, and that might be from a manually dialed number or something on the record. And a diligent rep might see that there's more than one number to dial and then would manually dial those other numbers. What's more likely is the rep just moves on to the next record in the dialer. And as the call is engaged, the rep logs the call in Salesforce and then asks New Voice Media for the next call. And last sort of negative example, that on the third call, the rep gets put through to the prospect's voicemail. And even if the rep did use voicemail drop, they must still log that call in Salesforce and then ask NVM for the next call. But finally, the rep does actually get their next call and is connected to the prospect on the bottom loop here. And at the end of the call, they log it into Salesforce and they keep on dialing as above. So the challenge that you as a business and the rep are facing is that the inefficient use of sales reps' time with logging those calls and clicking next on the dialer to move to their next call. There's a reliance on the sales rep to remember to follow up on non-connected numbers, and the sales reps who adopt the current product complain that the administration is slowing them down, and that's going to run the risk of them moving off the product and doing their own thing, which is going to be difficult for you to manage. So in short, you can see the reps involved in some form of administration for all calls, even if there is no prospect. But on the next slide, what we will then see is that the solution to the problem. So again, very similar story, that basically the sales rep logs into Salesforce and asks New Voice Media for their first call. New Voice Media detects that there's no answer and automatically logs the call. New Voice Media then moves the rep onto the next call, which is basically the second number on the current record. This time, New Voice Media recognizes the call is engaged, logs the call, and automatically moves the rep to the next call, which goes to voicemail. The rep uses voicemail drop, so again, New Voice Media automatically logs the call and moves them onto their last call, which is connected. And in this case, the rep obviously needs to manually log the call because only they're part of the call and need to do it. But what's key is in these last two slides, the rep is available to handle the call before it's being progressed to the next call. And this is progressive dialer and not a predictive dialer. With progressive, there is always a sales rep at the other end of the line. But with predictive, you're going to run that risk of your prospect getting connected to dead air, which is not going to create that emotionally engaging experience. So in short, what you can see, the difference between this slide and the last slide, in this particular one, and what the latest version of Progressive Dialer gives, is that the rep is involved in some form of administration only when they speak to a prospect and not when it is, in inverted commas, a failed call. So quickly, as a summary, the benefits of the Progressive Dialer are user adoption. It's going to be easier to use, helpful, not disruptive, allowing the rep to focus on great conversations. Productivity, it's reduced administration through automatically logging calls and dialing through subsequent numbers on that record, and basically making sure that the reps are making the most of every lead. And last but not least here, accurate reporting. Automated dispositioning means that the reports are accurate without the sales rep needing to spend any effort. And you can also map your call outcomes to our call out comes to your existing disposition codes, means that basically you can continue to use your own reports without having to make any changes.